Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Judgment Style Podcast, your host, the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have the incredible, amazing, fabulous tax professional, tax specialist, but she's a multi-talented individual. Her organization, her brand, her company has grown and is changing the lives. She's helping clients buy their first home, get their first home. She's repairing. She's a credit expert and financial expert in the realm of finances. But one of the things that I think we all need today is tax experts, and we need tax professionals. Miss Israel is a wife, mother, and eight kids, and an entrepreneur to her core. She has a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and after serving in the healthcare industry for 15 years, we all know her, we love her, and she's coming back to serve her community in the best way possible. She believes that her authentic self, her energetic energy, and creative nature brings a balance to this industry. And that's a level of care and just concern that you don't see very much into these days when people have a heart to actually serve and help. In our previous episode, she explained how she helped her clients, one of her many clients, fight the IRS. And today we have the incredible, amazing Miss Liora Israel coming to the show on Gentleman Style Podcast. Welcome to the stage. Thank you. Welcome, Queen.
You are something else, bigging me up like that.
What? It's all you. This is all you, girl. You are changing the game, and you are incredible. I follow you and your story. You're full of word, scripture, knowledge, expertise, and you even service one of my good friends. She's a client of yours, and she hails you, man. She talks nothing but precious things about you, and I'm like, man, I need a friend like this.
That's awesome.
So, Miss Israel, help us. The tax code 2020 was a tumultuous year. The tax, yeah. It has been something else, and no one else could have foreseen this except the Father above. Mm-hmm. How has the tax code changed? Give us some insights, tips. What things should people be preparing before they come work with you?
So it's just so much now. And 2020 is definitely the tax year that is showing that a lot of people don't really have their finances and their bookkeeping in order. So it's definitely exposing some people. Get it together.
I'm trying.
So with the tax code has changed to pretty much accommodate the pandemic and people that have been affected by the pandemic, businesses that have been affected by the pandemic, corporations, so forth. Now, there's been a lot of different credits that have been, there's been a couple credits that have been introduced for both individuals and businesses. And when I say individuals, I mean families as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of tax credits that have been introduced to kind of catapult the economy, to help individuals that are suffering from job losses, and to also lighten some tax burdens on businesses and individuals that have been affected. And it's not just, I feel like everyone has pretty much been affected by this pandemic, and the government pretty much sees it that way as well.
Absolutely. And that's major, right? We've gotten so much movement all around. We've got stimulus, we got unemployment, we got PPP loans, we got ABC loans, we got all these different moving parts and money being fluctuated to small businesses, big businesses, Delta Airlines, all money all over the place. And I feel like the economy has lost track of their financial mind. And so one of the things you touched on was PPP loan, and there's only a limited financial institutions helping with that. So how does your company help clients get in front and get ahead and prepare those documents?
Oh,
Uh,
so I'm definitely trying to, my bookkeeping clients, I'm trying to keep their books straight, to show their expenses. We have done an extensive amount of tax amendments this year. So, there's this saying that like people have this conception that, or, this perspective that tax professionals are only profitable during tax season, and that's really not true. Because all year long, we're filing extensions for people, we're doing quarterly business taxes, so forth and so on. But all of my bookkeeping clients, I've been definitely trying to keep their books straight, amending tax returns to show more income for previous years to help them qualify better for the EIDL loans and
oh my
PPP or
gosh.
whatever. Um, because they are kind of basing what they give you on that. And one thing they did for the first round of the PPP was they allowed people to apply before they actually collected their paperwork from them.
Ooh,
It opened the door for a lot of fraudulent scams,
scam.
people who didn't actually qualify. But trust me, the IRS is catching up with them all. Um, and the SBA, they are opening their investigations. Some people are even getting federal charges because they just absolutely positively gave 100% false information to obtain these loans. And so, yeah, they're being affected by that. And this time around, they are being very instrumental in institutions making sure that they do their due diligence, collecting the proper paperwork, looking into your finances a little deeper, and making sure really that people actually qualify for this assistance, and the ones that need it are getting it. Unfortunately, there are going to be some people who need it that don't get it, and it's because they weren't doing their back office. And what I mean by back office is your paperwork that matters, your finances that matters. And one big thing that plagues the minority community when it comes to finances is the fact that we always like to try to do things under the table. But nothing is ever really under the table when you're dealing with the government. That's what people don't know and don't realize. Because, like, let's say, you have like a e-store or something like that, and you're not reporting this income to the IRS. You just want to keep it all for yourself. You don't want to have to worry about or pay taxes or whatever. They already know about it because these
Mm.
platforms have a legal obligation to themselves to report whoever is on their platforms and whoever is making money on their platforms. They actually send the IRS reports even if you don't,
What?
file that. Yeah. So like
Snitching.
PayPal, all those little what is it,
Square.
Shopify, things like that, Square, they're all reporting whatever money you have coming in. If you use Cash App, if you're moving around a certain amount of money on Cash App, you could just say, people were sending you money or whatever. They're still going to investigate it if it was over $10,000 or $12,000 within a year. So yeah, if it's over 10,000 for a month, definitely. So yeah.
You moving weight. I know personally a lot of people have transitioned to the Cash App model. Businesses
Hmm.
just, hey, Cash App me, barbers, stylists, nail salon
Yeah. Yeah.
have really transferred over to the Cash App model.
Hmm.
And so you're right. They're snitching. They're spilling all the tea.
They have to,
They have
or
to.
they get shut down. They're going to be shut down. So yeah.
So
Your bank, if you have a certain amount of deposits within a month, they have to report it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
so
not getting
so
away with anything these days.
we're not, and that's what you do, right? That's what your company does, is you get people straight and you keep people straight.
Hmm.
And so when the IRS big Uncle Sam comes watching,
Hmm.
comes knocking on your door, your paperwork is already done. Do you do audits?
I do audits. I also have a CPA on my team. I am not a CPA. I am what you consider just like a standard tax accountant, enrolled agent. But I do have a CPA on my team that does help me with this. So we do audits, especially for our clients that we already service. They get it automatically. Um, and we pretty much do those all year round as well because people want to know if they're in the right entity. We do a lot of tax planning as well to help people, and there are legal ways that you can protect your money, you know what I mean, but you have to play by the rules, and I think we kind of talked about that last time too.
We did. We
Yeah.
did. So we've gotten an influx of money. There are people who received the $1,200 stimulus, that first round of payments. We got $600 most recently. If you're not, I know people that haven't received it yet. Is that income also reported? And is that income is that taxed? Should I be setting some
The
of that money aside for
stimulus
it? Yes.
is it? No, the stimulus itself is not taxed. It's actually a tax credit advance.
Ooh.
So what that means is, for 2020, Congress introduced, the CARES Act, which included a economic stimulus um, credit for 2020 taxes. So what they did was the majority of Americans got that credit up front versus on the back end. And then two, there was a lot of confusion about whether people who usually owe taxes are going to have to pay that money back. And the answer to that is a definite no now, because before they were saying, it would reduce the amount that you owed. But at this time, it's not being looked at in that way at all. So whatever you file for your taxes, you will answer the questions regarding whether you got the stimulus or not. And if you did not and you usually owe taxes, you will still get that credit. So you will get $1,200 credit towards your taxes. And then if you did get it, you're not going to owe on that. Okay, so the credit will still stand for you, and you won't have to pay any additional than you normally would. So everything is really going to be based on your what your AGI is.
We have the incredible Miss Liora Israel on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. She is absolutely amazing. I love the Flavor chain. We'll be
Okay.
right back, y'all. We got to go back and pay some bills. We will see you soon. Stay tuned and stay engaged and stay with us. Please leave a comment. We have the tax expert on the show, Miss Liora Israel.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
Hey, y'all, we have the incredible Miss Liora Israel on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and she is spilling some fantastic tea, and it is delicious. She is helping us get us straight for season. Sorry about that. We're getting us straight for the upcoming tax season. Man, we get the crew is fired, but we are getting straight for the tax season. Miss Israel, what is the difference between you just touched on it. What's the difference between a tax deduction and a tax credit? What's the difference between those two?
Oh gosh, how can I explain it? So a deduction is just that. It's reducing your income. It's something that you can claim that's reducing your income. A credit is something that you qualify for that's pretty much like a reward per se. Does that make sense? That's like the easiest way to explain it. So like you get a reward for claiming your children, right? You get a reward for dumping money into a 401k or some kind of like retirement savings or something like that. So yeah, does that answer your question good?
That does. That does.
Okay.
That's perfect. And I want to kind of lead into this next question, because there's a thing called tax brackets. Everyone falls into
Mhm.
specific tax brackets depending on how much money you make. So there's a tax bracket for if I make $12,000 a year. There's a specific tax bracket if I make $80,000 a year, or if I'm a six-figure earner. So
Mhm.
has there been any changes in those tax brackets for the upcoming 2021 tax season?
There's been a lot, and I did take my note. I did put take my notes down on what exactly those ranges are. I mean, it is a lot, so I won't get into everything, but um, most of it is that the standard deductions have been raised for each filing category. Not too much, but enough to pretty much give people some squeeze room with income and paying less taxes. So a lot of the all the standard deductions have changed. The tax brackets, which kind of shifts the tax brackets as well. And of course we know that everything is pretty much based on, hold on just a second, I'm sorry,
You're
everything is pretty
fine.
much based on your effective tax rate. So I don't know if you know how it actually works. So like, let's say you make $40,000 a year, you're actually getting taxed by what, two or three different um, tax like percentages. So like for the first 9,000 some odd dollars, it's like 10%. That 10% is being taxed on that. 12% is being taxed on the amount between a little over 9,000. What is it? Like 9,950 or something like that.
Mhm.
So you're taxed 12% for another amount, and then from 40 on up, you're taxed at that 22% mark. So you're not really getting that, like, when it comes to tax brackets, you may be in a 22% tax bracket, which just means that a portion of your income is taxed up to 22%. It's so confusing, but I want to try to explain this as best I can.
No, this is perfect.
um so yeah, so like if you use like a standard income of like $50,000 a year, you're going to be taxed at 10% for an amount, you're going to be taxed at 12% for an amount, and then you're going to be taxed at 22% on an amount. And depending on what other credits and deductions you have, let's say you didn't have any outside of the standard deduction, your tax amount that you would owe would probably be somewhere around like $6,000, which is actually only 14% of your income. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Yeah. So it's kind of crazy, like how it's kind of confusing how it works, but that's why you need a good tax professional to make sure it's all done right.
I have messed up, y'all. I have messed up. I should have told y'all to get your pens and papers because this is great, great information. We have a question from our audience. Hey, Aisha, what's up, girl? Miss Aisha Donaldson is asking if I didn't file state taxes last year, so
Mhm.
that would be 2019, right?
2019.
2019 effective tax year. If I didn't file state taxes last year, can I file them this year?
Absolutely. So they have like a what, 3 or 4 year time frame where they will give you to file your taxes. However, if you don't file for an extension and then keep extending that extension, you will have tax penalties. So if you are owed a refund, those penalties are actually going to come out of your refund. And if you usually owe, you're going to owe on top of, you're going to owe the penalties on top of what you would normally owe.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Aisha.
Mhm.
That's a great, great question. And please follow up if you have more. Y'all tune in. We have the incredible Miss Israel tuning in, and she is spilling some great tea on the new and upcoming tax credit. We didn't expect, we didn't ask for 2020, y'all.
Mm.
And so everything has changed.
Yeah.
Everything has changed and turned us upside down on our head. So this we talked about. You touched on the standard deduction.
Mhm.
That's in flux. What about the child tax credit for my kids? Has that changed at all?
No, so the child's everything pretty much else still remains the same. Like the credits and deductions, there have been a couple more that have been introduced just to kind of help people, but no, child tax credit is still the same as of right now.
Give us some.
Um, huh?
Give us some of those. One of those additions.
Okay, so obviously we have the stimulus credit. Then there's been other credits that have been introduced for people who have had to use money out of pensions and have had to use money out of their like 401ks and things like that. They're not penalizing you for doing that. Um, if you continue to make contributions to those accounts,
Ah,
despite everything that has been going on, there's a credit for that. What else is there? There's a ton of credits that have been issued for corporations who, and all businesses really, all businesses who normally pay employees or contractors. There's been a host of credits to help those guys too. Um, what else is there? I'm trying to think of some more main ones that are more geared towards like individuals. Um, child tax credit. Oh, so they also introduced a look back period, which is pretty much going into like if we can't calculate your AGI or something like that based on like this year, like if it goes over a certain amount and you can't get it, we can actually look back at your 2019 and use that number to qualify you for the EITC. Um, what else?
ooh.
Yeah.
So, I'm a business owner. Let's
Uh-huh.
say we got business owners in the audience. I got business owners on my profile, and let's say one those business owners took the $10,000 EIDL.
Uh-huh.
How is that? Is there any deductions that I can take on that money? Is that even deductible at all?
No, so you will answer the question on whether you received it. Um, and you know what the confusing part is, even though they've introduced the credits for businesses to basically like claim additional deductions and everything like that. The most important reason why it's important for business owners, investors, and sole proprietors, whatever your entity is, to hook up with a tax professional is because if you did receive the EIDL and you did receive the PPP, whatever you spent the money on, whatever you spent the money on, you can't claim it on your taxes as an
Ooh,
expense. Yeah. So
darn.
that could really hurt, that could really hurt people as well. So it's really important to hook up with your tax professional and try to figure out other tax strategies to use. Maybe expenses that you don't normally write off, you may want to write them off for this year.
Buy that new vehicle. Buy that
hey,
company car.
hey, yeah, go ahead, do it.
So
I'll be on it this year.
you grew in the pandemic. She is absolutely amazing, y'all.
I
She grew
did.
in this. She has a staff, and not that she wasn't phenomenal before. But now she
Mhm.
has a dynamic team. So when you link up Miss Israel and her team,
Mhm.
it's a team, and they're gonna bring you in and take you under their wing, and they're gonna nurse you back to health, literally. So Miss Aisha came up with a follow up question. She's a new. I'm assuming she's a new business owner. What tax advice do you have for new business owners?
Okay, so from day one, you want to make sure that you are documenting everything that you are doing in your business. This is so important, especially since we are anticipating a higher percentage of tax audits. The IRS, they're trying to help the government get back as much money as possible, right? Even though they're quote unquote trying to help people keep money. But if you can't prove that you deserve your credits and your deductions, you're going to be in a lot of trouble and owe a lot of money. So your record keeping skills have to be like A1. You want to document every expense that you have, doesn't matter what it is. And you want to, like I have my clients keep a log of what they spent money on for the business, the date, the time, what it was for, why it was important. Yeah. And they keep a log, and I mean it's tedious, but you have to do it. You know what I mean? You can't be too busy for it. You got to work on your back office. Another good tool is, like, I like to have my clients on some kind of
App.
tax or bookkeeping type of software, like Hurdle or Mint or FreshBooks or QuickBooks, where you can actually connect these things to your accounts, and it can kind of help you log those expenses along the way. So if you are, a digital type of person and you mostly use credit, debit, your electronic payment systems and things like that, those will really help you keep a handle on your business finances, what you're putting out and why. If you're a cash person, you got to save every receipt. You want to save your receipts from your credit and debit expenses as well. But cash, you got to keep those receipts, and you can't hand them any receipts that are all like faded away. So, another way is, keeping your bank statements organized, being able to say what each expense is for, or, whatever method you use, just make sure that it's accurate, it's precise, and it's explaining exactly what the expense is and why. Because that's really what they're going to be looking for. And those expenses have to be similar to what other people in your industry are doing as well.
Absolutely. I love that. You guys are fabulous. Miss Israel, you're incredible.
Oh my
We got to pay
gosh.
some bills, y'all. We got to pay some bills before they cut the lights off. We were going to go to one more quick commercial break. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
We are back, y'all, to Gentleman Style Podcast. We are on the show, and we have the incredible, the amazing, the super fragilistic espialidocious Miss Israel on the show. Miss Liora, what is Biden's tax plan? What is our new, because it's confirmed, what's our new president? He is on the way with us to affect us. How is he going to affect us?
So I have kind of been following along since he started his campaign and started talking about that. And of course, taxes is always something that's going to appeal to people when it comes to presidency. So I'm not an economist. I can't really tell you, how it's affecting the economy or whatever. I can only give you that tax perspective, right? So, all right, let me see. I took a lot of notes on this stuff.
It's big, y'all. It's massive, right? He's changing a lot.
Yeah. So I think the key points in what his tax plan is that he definitely wants to raise the taxes on corporate tax, which corporate tax, it goes into all business owners, because you don't necessarily have to be a corporation.
Even if I'm a nonprofit?
Well, no, that's different.
Okay.
That's and then too, like, it depends like what kind of nonprofit you are, right?
So you might be good, Kimberly. You might be good.
Yeah. So The corporate tax credit, I mean, not credit, the corporate tax that he's proposing is that he wants to tax corporations up to 28%, which they are currently being taxed at 21%. But honestly, it's still not as bad as what the Obama administration had, corporate tax that they
Implemented.
put on. Yeah. So
Yeah.
theirs was like 35%, whereas Biden, he's proposing 28%. But one thing, even if corporations are opposed to this, even if we as business owners are opposed to this, there's like, you have to look at history and look at time. It's never really affected businesses that much, right? Because we know there are loopholes in the tax code that still help us retain a lot of our income and put the business or the corporation in a lower tax bracket. So there's always ways around it. Another thing too is like his tax proposals, the Democrats, they have to get the Senate or whatever to be able to even implement a lot of this stuff.
Get them on board.
And it still has to go through Congress. So everyone has to be on board and in agreement with these changes. And there's really no solid yay or nay on whether his plans are actually going to be implemented. Now, once again, I will say I'm not an economist. But they are saying that if corporation tax do go back up, it's still going to affect everyone, because then they can't hire as much, they can't retain employment and different things like that. So yeah. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about tax credits and things is that they've offered a lot of corporations a tax deduction and credit if they continue to donate more towards medical research, most exclusively this COVID virus and vaccine and things like that. So you are seeing a lot of companies take advantage of that as well. But of course, that's like bigger, corporations and things. So yeah.
Ooh.
Did I answer your question?
You did. You did.
There's a couple other changes that Biden plan would like to implement. So they want to increase the child tax credit. Like right now it's like what, 1,000, 2,000, and they want to bring it up to 3 to 8. So I think that would be good, for individuals, because then that means you're getting more of a tax refund if you usually do one, and you're getting less taxes that you have to pay if you normally owe. So those are some good things.
That's a push per child.
Tax relief to student debt. So anyone that has any kind of like student loans or anything like that, you will be getting like, it's not clear on whether it will be a deduction or a credit yet. So you already kind of get educational credits, like the American Opportunity Credit. If you pay student loan interest, you get a credit for that as well, or a deduction for that. So yeah, there already are some things in place, but this will pretty much be able to benefit anyone that has student loans, regardless of whether you're paying them or not. So yeah.
So that's a overview, guys, of the new presidential tax potential tax. Yeah, that's she's helping us.
Because it's a lot. It's tax professionals, CPAs, we've all tax professionals, anyone that's dealing with taxes right now, we have been so bombarded with information that there are actually companies who they're making books and quick guides for us just to stay on, and it's about this thick, and that's only for the year 2020. You know what I mean? With all the changes. So it's a lot to absorb in such a short period of time. I've been doing taxes for 11 years, and the tax code itself is massive. you can be in this for 30, 40 years. You still haven't gotten through it all. Every year there's changes. Every presidency there's changes. So there's always a lot to keep up on. But with the pandemic, it just like, boom, this is what we're doing. Oh, we changed our mind. Wait, no.
Today.
Like, like now, like, you know, a lot of tax professionals were getting ready to start filing taxes this week. And some companies, I guess, still are, and they're just telling their clients that they'll amend their taxes later. But you're going to pay for if you early file your taxes, you're going to pay for your amendments too. So it behooves you to just be patient and wait, because the IRS is like implementing more requirements for professionals, like that our softwares have to have, that, you know, e-file new requirements, documentation that we have to ask for from clients. And that's another thing too, you guys. Please, 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 as individuals, have all your paperwork in order, because this year you have to prove. You cannot just claim any title, any you know, tax
single, married,
yeah,
jointly,
I
all
can't
over
even
the
get my
place.
words straight
You
today.
good? I'm with you, girl. I'm
So yeah,
here.
you
I'm
can't
here.
just claim any title this year without actually showing the proof. So what that means is, if you're single, obviously you're going to be fine, but it's mostly going to affect people who are married and people who claim head of household. Those are the ones that are really going to be affected, because and I don't know what, like, there are some reasons why people would file married but separately. There's a benefit and an incentive to filing married jointly. Okay, even if your spouse is in some kind of like freaky, you know, situation, if you get a refund, your refund is still protected, but your filing status, ding. um, so yeah, so
What about kids?
if you are married filing separately, they want to know why.
Mm.
Why it's important, I don't know, because that's like the worst filing status that you can choose anyway. So yeah, it is. The lowest standard deduction, like everything. So and they want to know why. So you have to have like an explanation for that. You have to show like if you are legally separated and all of that good stuff. And then for head of household, you have to actually show your mortgage statement with your name on it, a lease, utility bills. So they want to see utility bills mostly. They want to see that you have utility bills there in your name. Another thing that they are doing, because I know a lot of our people do this, and you got to pay attention this year because they're cracking down on everybody. You
Don't
would
do it.
normally have, like, let's say it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend in one household. They would both normally claim head of household and claim a kid or something like that, right? Or some other dependent. Well, this year, two people, only one person per address can claim head of household. Unless it's like a roommate situation, but you have to prove that you have a lease or that you're paying a utility there.
Ooh.
So that's the only time they're going to accept head of households from one address, right? So if you are somebody who lives in a household with another adult and you both usually claim head of household, somebody's going to get kicked out of the system, audited, or examined. So yeah, be careful with that, because that's a big one right there. So yeah, they are still like implementing new changes. They are still considering other like credits that they should either add or take away. And it's like every day is like something new. So it's changes for all of us.
That's big. That's
Yeah.
big, y'all. And so when you connect with her, you all have to really do your due diligence. We didn't expect this. We
Yeah.
didn't plan for this, and so this is going to be a crazy year. This is the year, and Miss Israel said it earlier. Like, tax audits are no joke this year.
Yeah, no.
They're cracking down. We got another question from our audience, Miss Hill. If I file taxes after the new laws, will they be eligible for the new laws?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that was
I
pretty
mean,
good.
if you're filing your taxes after it's already implemented, yes. So what I mean by, some people like to file their taxes like right now, because companies like mine and other companies, we offer refund advances and things like that, where we can kind of file your taxes. We know how much you're getting back, so forth and so on, and it won't actually be e-filed until the 21st, but now we're holding off, at least my company is, we're holding off because the IRS is requesting like additional paperwork that we must collect from clients. Like you have to prove this year that your dependents are your dependents. Oh, I got to talk about this one, especially for my welfare recipients. Okay.
Ooh.
So one new thing that the IRS, and this is big, tell everybody that because we all know someone that's getting food stamps or medical or cash from the welfare office, right? If you are not accurately reporting your income to the welfare office this year, you're gonna be busted. And there's like no way around it, right? If you are collecting welfare and you normally let someone else claim your children, if that someone else is not their other parent or someone that is also taking care of you, okay, which means they should be claiming you on their taxes as well, you're going to be busted for welfare fraud, and you're going to have to take that money back, because basically how they're looking at it is, if you are allowing someone to claim your kids, they are stating on their taxes that they provided care for your child in their household for the whole entire year. Now, if their household is separate from yours, right? But you've been collecting food stamps or medical or whatever for these children, the IRS and the Department of Health for every state is looking at that, and someone's going to be held liable, and it's going to be the welfare recipient, because there's a law against welfare fraud, right? The person who filed the taxes can be looked at from an audit standpoint, and all they won't be like, there won't be any criminal charges in that sense, though. What will happen is they will just lose their credit. They would lose their credit for those children. So you guys want to be really, really, really careful with that this year, because that's something that they just announced, like what, 2-3 weeks ago or something like that, that they will be doing that. And so we do have to ask our clients if they receive TANF, because they're kind of requiring the tax professional to like kind of help them along with this initiative. So, I mean, if you tell me no, I'm gonna put no, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You got to be careful with that this year, you guys, because you're selling your kids to people to claim on their taxes, but then you're collecting benefits for these children, and the IRS is pretty much like somebody's lying. You know what I mean? So, yeah, be careful. And then my child support people. I know a lot of people who don't like to file their taxes because they owe child support. And you guys, that is like the dumbest thing ever. File your damn taxes and pay the back child support,
Right.
because the last thing you want is for that to just continually build up and you not actually have the money to pay it. Whereas they can just take your refund. You know what I mean? They can take your refund and put that towards what you owe, and you're square for a while. You know what I mean? So it's better to just go ahead and file the taxes and let them take it, rather than that, continue to build up. And, now they're threatening to take your license away. Now they're threatening to throw you in jail, or, you got the bounty hunters after you. You don't want those kind of problems. Now, for my couples who are married and one spouse owes child support or any other kind of like student loan debt or something like that, I want you to still go ahead and file married jointly, because you're still going to get your like the very maximum refund you possibly could, because that is the best and highest, standard deduction. And what you can do is you don't have to worry about losing your tax return because this other person owes child support or owes a debt. What you do is you file a injured spouse claim form with your taxes, and that will actually help that couple still get a refund versus losing the whole thing, or just not filing with your spouse because they owe the child support. So definitely you guys tell your friends to file their taxes. Don't miss out on all these juicy tax credits and deductions and things like that because you scared that child support or student loans are going to take it or whatever. Like, your spouse is protected against your debt, but you just have to know the proper forms to use.
And that is what Miss Israel and her team are doing, y'all. We have another question. Miss Kimberly Griffin, she was on the show. Incredible. Her and her husband and her amazing team. They have a nonprofit. So I wanted to give some background. What steps should I take as a new small nonprofit organization when it pertains to taxes?
You're pretty much going to take the same steps that any business would take. Just because you're a nonprofit does not always mean that you don't owe taxes unless you're exempt. So if you are exempt, in that sense, you wouldn't pay taxes. But if you're not exempt, you still would pay taxes. It's just not at the percentages that most businesses are at because you are a nonprofit. So you still want to keep your bookkeeping clean. Keep accurate records of every expense, every employee that's paid, any kind of donations that come into your organization. You are supposed to issue those people a certificate that they, with your EIN and everything on it, a 1099 miscellaneous or whatever, so that, they can claim that charity donation on their taxes. So that's not really it's pretty much still the same unless you're exempt. So even if you don't make money, right? Or you put money, like you cut even or whatever, because you're putting the money back out into the community or whatever, you still have to file a tax return. It doesn't matter if you made money or not. Even tax exempt organizations have to file tax returns as well, but it's a no income tax return, but it's still giving the IRS an idea of what you're doing and how you're using the money and so forth. So if you are, you can't be like giving yourself like these crazy payroll, like putting yourself on crazy payroll and like sucking up all the money. You have to show that money is like going back into the community, or certain groups or like something, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Absolutely. I hope that helps Miss Kimberly, and she's following up. She's exempt. She has no employees, just her and her husband.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna file the exempt tax return. Sometimes exempt nonprofits can even get money back from the government. So it just really depends. Yeah. So it just really depends on like exactly what your organization has been doing. And how you've been applying any funds that either you put into it yourself or that you have people donate and so forth. So, but definitely the most important thing is always, for any business, no matter what it is going to be keeping your books clean.
Keep them clean, keep your nose clean, and stay out of those audits, y'all.
Yes. Yeah.
This is not a game. This is not the year to mess around. My guest has 8 kids. I was gonna borrow one, y'all. This is not the year to do it. I might follow up next year.
Look, I need all that.
She got big payroll, y'all. We are growing. My audience, you guys are incredible. What else did you want to touch on for my audience? What things that we need to know, besides obviously contacting you and getting with you this year?
So definitely you want to reach out to whoever your preferred tax professional is, and get some very direct information concerning your particular tax situation, because you want to be prepared when you go to file your taxes this year. You don't want any surprises. I know myself and my team, we've been working tirelessly and very hard to pump out as much information to our personal clients as possible, and also to the general public as well. But once again, everybody's tax situation is going to be different and unique. If you don't have a tax professional, me and my team would love to take care of you. But definitely you want to make sure that you are educated on your particular tax situations. You want to make sure that your paperwork is in order this year, like never before. And we talked about that. I'm reiterating that because it's just so important. Because they are really like, they want their money back. They're giving money out, but they want it back somehow, some way. You know what I mean? So make sure you're not one of the ones that are going to end up owing them, right? And when I say owing, I mean like, your paperwork wasn't in order, or you couldn't prove something, or anything like that. You want to make sure that all your ducks in a row, all I's dotted, all T's crossed.
Absolutely. That's major. We have a question from Ms. Hill again. What's the best way to contact you regarding tax filing? And do you take individuals and non-business clients?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yes, we do help individuals in addition to, sole proprietors, small businesses. We pretty much help anybody in a tax situation. But the best way to contact us would be by phone. Our telephone number is 303-487-2817.
Say that one more time.
Hold on. It's
Bum,
a new
bum, bum.
number.
Absolutely. She has grown this year, y'all.
We have, yes. Let me see.
This
Let me
is
get
a
the
year.
number for y'all. I'm sorry, you guys. This is
Absolutely.
I thought I knew the number by heart, but I just want to be sure.
Absolutely. We don't want to give out wrong numbers. They're going to come after me.
Right, like that was a good number. How's she gonna give out her own number to wrong? It's a new number, you guys. That's why.
No problem.
So it's 302-487-1827. So that's our office number. You can get in touch with myself or one of my team members. Another little change that I want to bring up too is that all tax documents per the IRS now have to be shared through a secure method. They've been really strict on us about keeping client information secure, encrypted, and all of those good things. So you cannot text or email your tax professionals your documents anymore. So pretty much every tax software company has initiated some kind of like portal or something like that for clients to use. So our website will be back up by Monday, and you can click the link like in my bio, as Marcus just put up, but you'll be able to go on my website, which is thebenjaminwolfgroup.com. And you'll be able to get started with us there as well. So once again, that number is 302-487-1827. 1827.
Oh my gosh. This is on the fly. I never recommend doing this on the fly, y'all. So it's 302.
Wait, it's still wrong. Wait.
What?
487-1827.
1827.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. Forgive me.
So that's the office number. You can reach us Monday through Friday, 11 to 6. We are doing taxes every single day just because that is the time that we're answering our phones. We're working all day long.
Weekends?
Every day except for Saturday. So
absolutely.
No Saturdays, but Sundays, yes.
What's the cutoff this year?
The cutoff? What do you mean?
Get your taxes done. Is it the same or is it changed?
Oh, so yeah, it's the same. It's April 15th as of right now. But of course, if you need more time, you can file an extension, which will either take you out to June or October or somewhere around there, depending on, what you're filing, whether it's individual or business.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And if you guys ever want some cybersecurity background, she just shared that this year you can't email your tax professional. You can't slide it under the door and leave it in her
Well, you
mailbox.
can do, as long as you drop it off to them, that's fine. But
Okay.
and they get it and they have it in some kind of like secure location. But as far as like email, because there's been so many IRS scams going on, there's been so many identity theft scams, and people have, like, some people haven't even gotten their stimulus because of identity theft, right? So because of that, they've implemented these like security changes where you can drop your things off, you can give it to them in person, but there's no texting, no email. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And what's that email?
The email address?
Yes, for you.
Yeah. So my personal email is Liora@benjaminwolfgroup.com. Our company email is info@benjaminwolfgroup.com. So that's where you can email to get an appointment, to get general information. Unfortunately, our offices are closed due to the COVID-19. We just haven't really had any like safe way to like really implement those precautions within the offices. So we're pretty much doing everything virtual right now. So we're doing all of our appointments virtual. We'll pretty much sit down with our clients kind of like this and go through everything. Or you can just, submit everything to us. If we have any other questions, we'll be reaching out to you, so forth and so on. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Miss Israel, you have been phenomenal. I thank you. This is a follow-up show. She's been on the show before, but she is come back to serve us for the new tax season, and this couldn't have come at a better time.
Yes.
Miss Liora, thank you.
You are so welcome. And again, you guys, just be patient this tax season and be prepared. So everyone be blessed.
Absolutely. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Thank you all. Please like, share, and subscribe and get this information out. We have to uplift this young woman. She and her family and her team are doing phenomenal things in the community, and they are changing us and keeping us safe and protecting us for the upcoming season. So get this message out. Get her out. This isn't for me. This is not about me. This is about you all and how. Absolutely. I mean, we have to uplift each other and look out for each other.
That's so true.
And we're going to get there if we work together. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And like I always say, take care of your families, take care of your homes, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman and Miss Liora Israel signing off from the show, Gentleman Style Podcast. Love you guys. Bye.